Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray headed back from the Olympics. Maybe this is going to add a brand new breath of energy for the Denver Nuggets as they get ready to embark on yet another journey to bring another NBA title to Denver. People are down across the board on the Nuggets, but I think that this summer should give people more hope than despair. We're going to talk about all that and more here on Locked On Nuggets.
You are Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Locked On Nuggets. This is your host, Swiper. This is your team every day. Thank y'all so much for being here with us. This is going to be a great episode, great conversation. My brothers Adam and Matt held y'all down yesterday. It's going to be me today. Y'all, this is going to be an interesting time of year. The NBA is kind of winded fully down. No more Olympics. No more Olympics. The USA return home with gold medals. Kevin Durant is trolling me for simply saying congratulations for Serbia getting to this point and being able to put up a great fight versus the most stacked team in U.S. history. And then me wearing my Sophia Smith jersey after they won gold medal versus Brazil. I get trolled. Look on Kevin Durant's page right now, but it's all good. It's all love, man. This is the down season of the NBA where there's not much to talk about. But y'all, the Denver Nuggets are in a really precarious situation because if you kind of listen to the word on the street, the Nuggets might be cooked. And what I love about this time of year is that it's all narratives. Everything's a storyline. It's all what you can write down on a piece of paper. Everything is hearsay and everything is possibility and everything is, well, what if they don't? What if they do? But what I love about basketball is that when you're on the court, the only way to tell who the best one is to go mano a mano. And it's my 5 versus your 5, our coaching versus your coaching, our summer work versus your summer work, our ability to take care of our body during the season versus yours. It's our resiliency, it's our crowd, it's our communication, it's our resolve. We have an opportunity on a game-by-game basis to prove who the best is and who's most committed to the grind. And I think Jokic and Murray, them coming off of 2 completely different playoff runs, I think it's going to change how this season goes. Them coming off of 2 completely different Olympic runs is going to feed into this season. And one of the reasons I say that is because I think Jokic, despite the fact that people are joking and saying that he's playing as hard as he's ever played for Serbia, which is true, despite the fact that Jamal Murray had one of his worst runs of his career, which is true in the Olympics, there seems to be a little bit of sauce, I think. Jokic going out, y'all, and dominating the Olympics to the degree to where people were wondering, even as a bronze medal winner, if Jokic was going to come away with the Olympics MVP award that LeBron James ultimately ended up winning. Jokic, first player in Olympic history to lead the Olympics in points, to lead the Olympics in rebounds, to lead the Olympics in assists, and to lead the Olympics in steals. Jokic came out, showed the world, I'm the best player in the world. I'm the most reliable player in the world. And honestly, offense, defense, this run solidified that when Jokic has to lock in, very similar to 2023, he's not just a average defender. He's a good disruptive defender. And you got a chance to see that on multiple occasions from Joker when he wasn't in foul trouble in that Team USA game, especially in the first couple. He was dominant. He was a really dominant player, and his scoring, even though his three-point shot wasn't there, his scoring was phenomenal. His ability to get to the mid-range, to get to the rim, he was even getting to the free throw line. Joker just had a level of tenacity that stays with you, I believe, going into the season. Now, again, if you ask Joker, Joker will probably compartmentalize everything, but I do think there's something to. The fact that you can come off of a disappointing season, be the best player in the world, win your 3rd MVP award, and then you can go into the Olympics, and honestly, they're 3 minutes away. 3 minutes away from closing out that game versus Team USA, where they might have been able to say we're gold medal champions in the Olympics. But Team USA was a better team. They deserved that victory. But if I'm Jokic, there's a mentality that I think could be carrying over into the regular season. And I think there's just this desire. There's a 1-2. There's a try hard. There's a will. Because Jokic, if you just watch him play, the level of passion that he played with and the level of aggression that he played with, the level of playmaking that he played with, the level of defense that he played with, the level of fire that he played with, all that stuff I think can be here to stay. And what I love about the fact is that he was able to do that at the highest stage and everybody got a chance to see it. There's no running from it. There's no running from it. And so Jamal Murray, on the other hand, had the complete opposite of a run. 6 points a game, 14% from three, 29% from the field. And that's just incredulously bad, like horrific. And if you ask me, going into this run in the Olympics, I really thought that Canada was going to have an argument with Serbia as the second best overall team in the Olympic field. And I do think that if Jamal Murray was playing at his normal level, they could have been that. But when SGA wasn't scoring, they didn't have a real score because Dylan Brooks, inconsistent offensively. Lou Dort, inconsistent offensively. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, inconsistent offensively. Andrew Nembhard had a very good playoff run for a player of his caliber and then played really well in the first part of the Olympics and then kind of cooled off as you got into the knockout stages. But that's another dude that I think is going to have an uptick this next year in Nembhard because the last 3 months of his basketball have been very good and very important minutes. But I think Jamal, because of some lagging injury things, because of just fitting into this team, into this ecosystem, I think there were things that affected him being able to play at maximum level. Mostly, more than likely up here. Because, I don't want to blame everything on the fact that you could be hindered. But I do think that Jamal did his best to show up for his country. And then he just wasn't able to put together the level of basketball we're used to. But I think all that stuff between the two players, I think that just speaks to the level of commitment that it takes to be great on a daily basis. Because even if you're not successful, you want to go out and you want to show face and you want to get best effort. And I think Jamal did that to the best of his ability. He just couldn't hit his shots like he normally does. And I think Jokic being able to carry that team. Now, obviously, Bogdan Bogdanovic played amazing. The last 3 games of the Olympics, honestly, were just spectacular. What he did versus South Sudan, what he did versus Australia, what he did versus the USA, and then what he did in the gold medal game or in the silver bronze medal game versus Germany. He played his tail off. Aleska played really good. Guduric played really well. I mean, Micic played extremely well in spots, and he was hitting shots when you just didn't expect him to. And that really changed the course of the game for Serbia. And then Jovic, who missed the game because he was sick, he played really well, obviously, over this run as well. Milutinov played well. Again, Serbia just had guys. They had guys, but they had Jokic. And I know at this point, what I love about the way the media narrative has kind of spun, that's coming out from the players and some fans. If you talk about Jokic too much, you're dragging it. If you talk about Jokic too much, you're glazing. If you talk about Jokic too much, you're being too much of a fan. And I just think that is ridiculous because if you're from Denver, you've never had a player of this caliber before. You've never had an MVP before. Never. Now, Haywood from the ABA, but we haven't an NBA MVP. David Thompson, Alice English, Carmelo Anthony, they didn't win. Jokic is the best player in franchise history, and he's at his apex. Just won a 3rd MVP. And especially if you're in Denver, you've been telling people about Jokic since 2016, and then you were finally proven right and fully vindicated. Not even with the first MVP in 2021, not with the second one in 21-22, but when he got lambasted and scapegoated in 2023 and then happens to win a title, that year Jokic averaged 25, 10, 12, and 10 on 70 true shooting and then averaged 31, 13, and 10 on 63 true shooting through that playoff run. That's why fans are so high on Nikola Jokic. That's why people care as much as they do about Nikola Jokic. So I think this idea that you somehow get to police how Nuggets fans feel about their player, I think it's ridiculous. LeBron James, he has people follow him all over the country every time he goes to a new team. Kevin Durant, every time he goes to a new team, people follow him all over the country. Get flued out all across the way, from Oklahoma City to Golden State to Brooklyn to Phoenix. LeBron James to Cleveland, Miami, back to Cleveland to LA. Steph Curry, super fans. He got a contingent of people that follow him everywhere he go that are always supporting and rooting for him. But for some reason, when it came to Joker, the conversation got different. Because Giannis, you know what? He got the same level of support. There are still most, if not all, Bucks fans think that Giannis is still the best player in the world. So that's just kind of how fandom works. So it's interesting to see that Joker being vindicated as a champion and a 3-time MVP. When you talk about him, you're idolizing him instead of just simply appreciating who he is as a basketball player. But I don't know if y'all know this, but fan is a short word for fanatic. People are fanatic about their sports teams. They're fanatic about their players. Y'all, if you're a basketball fan, I fully respect that. Everybody in here in the live, but if you're listening to this after the fact, if you're from Denver or you're familiar with Denver at all, John Elway had the biggest fan base. I mean, John Elway could do no wrong in Denver to this day. John Elway got opportunity after opportunity as the GM because people love John Elway. That's just the way it works. If you come to Denver, you take care of your business, you represent the city well, and you play well, and you're a good person, you're going to get love. Jokic, you're going to get love. Jokic gets love to this day. Peter Forsberg gets love to this day. Larry Walker, Vinny Castilla gets love to this day. Matt Holliday, Dexter Fowler gets love to this day. John Elway, Peyton Manning, Terrell Davis, Rod Smith, Ed McCaffrey, Shannon Sharp, Al Wilson, Trevor Price, Steve Atwater, Champ Bailey, Chris Harris, Vaughn Miller. If you show love to the city of Denver, you're going to get love. That's just the way it works. We are loyal to our people. That's how it works in Denver. But everybody, for some reason, when it comes to Jokic, they just feel kind of different. There's just a different way they speak about him and deal with him. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But I'm proud of what Joker did. I'm proud of what Jamal did. Because even if Jamal didn't play as well as he and we hoped he would, Jamal Murray is a nugget. Jamal Murray is a nugget. And despite the fact that people will criticize him and justly criticize him for his play with the Olympics, he's a nugget. So he will get support from this fan base. That's just the way it works. If you are in Denver and you play for this team, you're going to get support. But you're also going to get criticized because that's just the way it rolls. The only people I've ever seen truly be above criticism, Jokic, at times. Jokic, Champ Bailey, Vaughn Miller, John Elway, Peyton Manning. That's just the way it works. If you get to that level of stratosphere in Denver, then people are going to ride for you. They're going to be on your side majority of the time. So what I love is that we're in a time and place now where we get a chance to interact with some of our favorite players and analysts and movie stars and entertainers. But you better believe that if we're going to have a conversation, then you got to understand the roots to all of this. So I do think this Olympic run is important because I think Jokic hears his noise about the Denver Nuggets. I think Murray has to hear the noise about himself. And we're going to see how everybody responds, y'all. But y'all, on the other side, we're going to talk about what does a rebound from this Olympic run look like for Jokic and for Murray. Is this the most important summer of this era? And are the Nuggets true underdogs as they get ready for another season? We're going to talk about all that and more here at Locked On Nuggets. Y'all, passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, Your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay's guaranteed fit, only available to U.S. customers. We'll be right back for more, y'all, on Locked On Nuggets. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Locked On Nuggets. This is your host, Swiper. This is your team every day. Y'all, today's episode brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Y'all, if you are watching this on the YouTube side, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We are on the way to 10,000 subscribers by the end of next season. That is the goal. If you're listening to this on Apple iTunes, give us a 5-star review. Go ahead and give us the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. 5-star review. That way more and more people can hear about the great content we're doing here at Locked On Nuggets. So, y'all, let's get it. Can the Denver Nuggets rebound after this Olympic run? Can Jokic and Murray rebound after this Olympic run? I believe it with all of my heart that this summer is going to be one of the most important summers in franchise history. I believe that this summer could potentially end up being the most important summer of the Malone, Jokic, Murray, MPJ, Gordon era. Why? Because coming into 2023, Jamal Murray comes off an injury. They get blown out in Utah, have a great game versus the Warriors, and then here we go. Light them up. The Denver Nuggets, 53 wins in the regular season, go 16-4 for their first title. And then the next year they come out. They win 57 games. 57. They tie for first place in the conference. And yet here we are. The Denver Nuggets lose in the second round in Game 7, even though they had a 20-point lead at the top of the third quarter. Y'all, there's something that I'm feeling in my bones. There's just nothing like a team having this kind of veteran presence, these kind of players on the roster, and then coming up that short. In the last 5 games of that series versus the Minnesota Timberwolves, they had 3 15-point leads. 3 different games, they had a 15-plus point lead, and they closed them out most times. But then in that last game, the final game, they just couldn't get it done. So I do think that this summer is going to be different because now there's a level of expectation, there's a level of weight, there's a level of tenacity, there's a level of disappointment that this team hasn't felt in years. Because even in 2020, and they lost in the bubble to 4-1, LeBron James and Anthony Davis at the apex of his powers. They weren't expected to win the title that year. Beating the Clippers, who were the hands-on favorite to win the title, that was huge. And then they lost to LeBron James. Jokic wasn't there yet. Murray wasn't there yet. MPJ wasn't there yet. And then Gordon wasn't even on the team. And then you get Jamal Murray's injuries, the lost years. Jokic wins his first 2 MVPs, all that stuff. Yeah, but that was not this year. This year is the year the Denver Nuggets have real expectations to meet because you didn't just win a title. You lost 3 games at home. 3 games at home in the second round. The Denver Nuggets don't lose at home. But then now you get a resurgence from Jamal Murray. You get a resurgence from Nikola Jokic. Get a resurgence from Michael Porter Jr. Get a resurgence from Aaron Gordon. That, to me, is going to be the game changer. Are they going to let, audience listen, will Michael Malone, Calvin Booth, and the Denver Nuggets players, will they allow for the disappointments of last year to mold them into champions or to fold them into losers in the first, second, or third round? Which one? Because I got to believe that this team has the ability to respond the right way. And I think, personally, this is just me having had a conversation with Jamal. Jamal hears everything. He hears it all. He sees it all. You can't show likes on Twitter no more. But I'm hoping and thinking Jamal Murray is keeping receipts. He's at least keeping mental receipts of what is being said. People do not expect for him to be able to have a bounce back year. People do not expect for him to have an all-star year. People do not expect for him to have an all-NBA year. But this is the moment for Jamal. This is the moment. Because Jamal in the lost years had the injury reasons. And then he won a title. 26, 5, and 7. But now Jamal Murray has the opportunity right now. What everybody's saying, he's not mature enough. He doesn't work hard enough. He's not in good enough shape. He's not ready enough for the game. He's not good enough in the regular season. He's not good enough to start the year off. He is not good enough to be an all-star. All of that being said, you have every opportunity in front of you to take care of business. Every opportunity in front of you to rise above it. Every opportunity in front of you to go be great. And that is what greatness demands. Sometimes we get lost. Skills are important. Your talent is important. Your ability to practice is important. Your work ethic is important. What God gave you when you were born, all that stuff is important. But what makes people great is how they respond to adversity. What makes people great is how they respond to the challenge. What makes people great is that when the moment comes, are you ready? That's what this is. The reason why we love sports is we love the arc of the players. We love the arc of a city. We love the arc of a nation. That Serbia, being just as big as South Carolina, can go take on the world power and lose by just 4 points and a chance to go win gold. That Denver, in a city that hadn't won a championship in 47 years in the NBA, can go to the NBA Finals and walk everybody down. Storylines, New Orleans Saints after Hurricane Katrina winning a championship and everything that it meant to that city. This is what it is. This is sports. So the reason why I do not believe players fold willingly is because when the moment has called for it throughout the course of their lives, they have had to respond in high school, in college, in the G League, and Jamal Murray. He has overcome injury. He's overcome an ACL injury. He's overcome not making the first 15 shots of his career. He's overcome having to be out Jameer Nelson. He had to overcome beating out Emmanuel Mudiay. He had to overcome all these things because everybody's always being hard on him. And I'm hard on Jamal because I expect greatness from Jamal. But everybody's hard on him and doesn't offer the other side. The other side of the coin of disappointment and failure is success and overcoming the odds of greatness. And I think Jamal has it in him. And why do I think that? Because we've already seen it. 4 20-point fourth quarters in the NBA playoffs. That is the most this side of 2000. And nobody can take that away from him because there's something that's inside of him that makes him do that. That turns the key. But that has to be the case for this regular season because greatness is on the line for the Nuggets. Greatness is on the line for the Nuggets, and it starts with Joker. It starts with the best player in the world. It starts with the 3-time MVP. Greatness is winning habits every day. Just as Nikola Jokic said, winning has to be a lifestyle. You have to be willing to commit yourself. Commit yourself to being great daily, every single day. It's the same thing we're doing here. And Dan Izzo, that's a fact. Dan Izzo, David Thompson, Alice English, Bobby Jones, all of them. Carmelo Anthony, Antonio McDyess, Marcus Camby, J.R. Smith, Kenyon Martin. If you are on this platform, you've been right here with us. You're either Serbian and you've known Jokic, and you watch greatness come up out of nowhere, out of Sombor, Serbia, or you're from Denver, or you're a fan of Denver, and you watch this team overcome trudging in the mud for decades to get where they are right now. The reason why this is the most important summer of the Denver Nuggets era is because now everything is in front of you. You have success and championships and failure in your past. but that doesn't define who you're going to be tomorrow. So I'm excited about it. The Denver Nuggets are officially underdogs now, y'all. They're officially underdogs. And we get back on the other side, we're going to talk about what that might mean and how they have an opportunity to prove everybody wrong. We'll be right back for more here on Locked On Nuggets. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the final segment of Locked On Nuggets. This is your host, Swiper. This is your team every day. The Nuggets are underdogs. The Nuggets are underdogs. They're in a situation where the world is looking at them and saying, y'all ain't good enough. Y'all ain't got it. You don't have it. They are losing KCP. They're too young coming off their bench. They no longer have the players that are going to make you sweat. They no longer have the players that are going to push you to the edge. And I could not be further away from that position. This is where we are, man. Like, the Nuggets are being considered duds. Like, they barely have a chance. They barely have a chance to win the Western Conference. That the Nuggets, because of losing KCP, don't have a chance to win the Western Conference. And that, for me, if I'm a Nugget, I'm taking personal. I'm taking personal. Right now, the Denver Nuggets are tied with the 76ers and with the Knicks with the third best odds to win the NBA Finals. Third best odds to win the NBA Finals. They're behind Oklahoma City, which is plus 700, and behind the Boston Celtics, plus 300. But this, like I said, comes down to how you respond to greatness. And I believe that Peyton Watson, Julian Strawther, Christian Brown, that is going to be the key. It's obviously going to come down to the starters. We know that. It's going to come down to Jokic, Murray, Gordon, and Porter. But Christian Brown, Peyton Watson, Julian Strawther, Russell Westbrook, and Dario Saric, you have to be ready to rock. This has to be the season. Going into training camp, everybody is ready and prepared. I didn't even mean for this episode to be this fiery. But this is what I have been feeling while I've been listening to everybody talk about this team as if they're just done and cooked. Like they don't have players at the apex of their powers. Like their starting five is going to fall off a cliff. Like their core four is nothing to sneeze at. But this is what I'm saying. Michael Malone has an opportunity. The offense needs to be more innovative. The offense needs to have more connected passing on it. They need to make sure they're getting back to the top of the league in field goal percentage, because that's who they are. They need to be at the top of the league in mid-range percentage. That's who they are. But they also need to increase their three-point attempts. Peyton Watson, Christian Brown, Julian Strawther, Michael Porter Jr., Nikola Jokic, and respect Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon. Them too. Even Aaron. The Nuggets are going to have to get up threes, man. Dang all the other stuff. If you got a three, take it. If you got a three, put it up. And again, it doesn't mean hunt bad threes. Do it in the process. But y'all, they have to get their three-point rate up, because just even for the math game, for their own advantage, the more threes they can get up more confidently over the course of the season, the more prepared they'll be. Because we already know they're going to be one of the better two-point teams in the league. That's consistent. They need to improve their percentages at the rim this next year, but they need to improve their three-point variety. You have to get more corner threes. You have to get more pull-up threes. Between Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, and Michael Porter Jr., they should be getting up around 19 threes a game. You need to get 8 from Jamal, 7 from Porter, and 4 from Jokic. They should be getting from those three players 19 threes a game. And then you fill the rest of it out with everybody else. That should be a part of the strategy. They need to get those threes up. Sarge can shoot the ball. Peyton, I don't care what it looks like. Shoot the ball. Christian, when you're open, shoot the ball. Julian Strawther, you're going to have to be a great pull-up shooter too. So, y'all, the Denver Nuggets got everything in front of them to win this season, but they're going to have to do it up top, up here. Their minds have to be there. Their heart's going to be there, but their minds have to be there. They got to play the season correctly. Don't overwork yourself. Don't overload yourself. Make sure you win the games you need to win. You win your division. You win Western Conference games. You sit when you need to sit. And by the playoffs, you're locked in and ready to go. That's going to do it for Locked On Nuggets, you all. This is your boy Swiper. Thank you so much for joining me today. We will be back with another episode soon. And I will see y'all, Swiper Gang, Locked On Nuggets on the other side. We out.